What's going on, everybody? This is Bronco Juggalo, and I am coming at you with part 7 of my Nightmare on Elm Street film ranking. Today, we are doing the triumphant return of Freddy Krueger in Wes Craven's A New Nightmare. I want you to picture this. It's 1994. We haven't had a Freddy in a couple years, and everybody thinks he's gone and dead. The fans have been clamoring for more. They're screaming they want Freddy back. They've cried they want Freddy back. They've wrote letters. They didn't send emails because they didn't have them back then, or at least not like they do now. People wanted this movie so bad, and we got a huge treat. We truly got a triumph in a movie. We got a great return to form for Freddy Krueger, as can only be brought to you by the one and only Wes Craven. Wes Craven returns to direct and write this movie. Wes Craven once again returns to helm the characters that he created, as only he can do so well. Every movie in this series that has Wes Craven's influence is the best films in this series. Whether it's either in the writing or in the directing, those are the best films. Once again, coming back for this movie, we have Robert Englund, who is not only playing Freddy Krueger as he does in all of the others, and playing him to the max, he gives a great performance as himself. He plays not only Freddy Krueger, but he plays himself as Robert Englund. We also have Heather Langenkamp, who comes back once again not only to play Nancy, but also herself. She is joined by Michael Hugo, who plays her son Dylan. Michael Hugo you may remember from Pet Sematary, and she is also joined by John Saxon as Lieutenant Thompson and as himself John Saxon in the film. This was a film that broke all of the rules of horror and established some new ones. It completely tore down the fourth wall, and it brought Freddy out of the movies and into our world. Just to set the stage for you here a little bit, the film opens with them filming a new Nightmare on Elm Street movie. There is a man creating a new glove, and it's a crazy cyber glove. It looks pretty decent, looks pretty awesome. He's crafting the glove, and as he gets ready, it's different. It's not exactly a glove, it's more of an arm, an attachment. He goes to chop his own arm off. And as he does that, it cuts, and you get to see that there are people behind, and you realize that they're filming a movie. Heather Langenkamp, who is in the movie starring as Nancy, is watching with her son Dylan, and she covers his eyes. Her husband, Chase, is the man who is creating all of the special effects, including Freddy's new glove. They are taking a break from filming. Wes Craven is directing. And all of a sudden the glove comes alive, kills 2 people, and goes after Heather and Dylan and Chase. That's when Heather wakes up. Heather Langenkamp is at home in her bed in Hollywood, California, and she wakes up to an earthquake. That is how we set the stage, with a nightmarish dream sequence. As we get farther into this film, we find out that Freddy Krueger is actually an evil ancient spirit who has been held at bay for 10 years as part of the Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street series. And now that the movies were done, he's decided to cross over into our world because he likes it so much. And he does so through the dreams and through the mind of young Dylan Porter, Heather Langenkamp's son in the film. As they struggle with what's going on, she doesn't know if her child is crazy. She's also being stalked by an obsessed fan. She is dealing with a lot of stress between the stalking, the nightmares, her son's behavior and her son's mental issues, the earthquakes, and the untimely death of her husband, which we do find out is Freddy related. You may notice that I'm using a bit more of a somber tone for this film. 2 reasons for that. 1, I'm testing out a new microphone. So if it doesn't work too well, I'm going to go back and redo it the other way, and I'll have to speak a little louder and more forcefully. But I'm trying to do it this way and see how it turns out. And number two, this film deserves a somber tone. This film is a serious horror film. It truly brings the series back to its roots. With all that being said, let's get into the pros of this film. Some of the biggest pros for me are the story. Once again, we have a great story penned by Wes Craven. He has done so well in melding the films of the Nightmare on Elm Street series to the real world, to the world of Hollywood making movies. And he brings it all forward in a great fourth wall breaking story that is absolutely amazing. Another huge pro in this film is the back to basics approach. They took Freddy out of the camp. The campiness that has plagued the movie, or blessed the movie depending on how you look at it, for the last three films especially, was completely taken away, taken totally off the grid. Not saying that Freddy wasn't entertaining, and he does have some really good lines, but this truly was a callback to the original. Freddy is once again scary and dark and demonic. He has a new look, which is also another big pro, especially after his look in Part 5, where he looked, the makeup they used and the way they did it made him look kind of old and round-faced. It didn't look like Robert Englund was under there like it usually does. It was just a huge upgrade in his look, and he looked scarier. He was intimidating again. He wasn't just kind of a slappy character. He was a character that you were afraid of. Another huge pro in this film was the kills. The kills were awesome. There technically were 4 kills in this film. The first 2 kills were in the opening dream sequence, when the glove kills 2 of the special effects guys. And I love the way it showed it skittering across the floor on the knife blades, and then getting on top of the dudes and just digging into their backs or into their chests and just ripping them apart. We find out that those 2 men were missing from work after that dream, and they were found dead later on, slashed to death. The third kill in the film is when Heather's husband Chase dies. He's starting to fall asleep behind the wheel, and the claws come up out of the seat, and they move towards his pants, and one finger reaches out and touches his jeans. He shakes himself awake, kind of, adjusts himself because he had this weird feeling, and then he falls back asleep again while he's driving. And Freddy's hand launches up, grabs into his chest, and just rips him apart. And he crashes the vehicle, he crashes his truck, and he dies. The fourth kill is when Freddy is finally crossing over into the real world. Dylan's babysitter, Julie, is at the hospital with him. And Julie has locked the nursing staff out because they're doing things that Dylan's mother did not want. And she's trying to keep Dylan awake, and Dylan falls asleep. Freddy appears behind Julie in his dreams, sticks his glove in Julie's back, picks her up, lifts her around. Everybody comes running, but all they can see is her floating in the air and then being dragged across the ceiling. Very reminiscent of Tina's death in 1. Now, while we can see Freddy and he's walking upside down and everything on the ceiling, the rest of the people in the scene cannot. So it makes for a very intense killing. This is one of the scariest entries in the series. It is one of my favorite entries in the series, and it is one of my top horror movies of all time. And that is because of Wes Craven and because of Robert Englund. Those two are just masters of their craft, and they know exactly what they're doing. Now, not every film is perfect. Most, in fact, are not. This film comes about as close to being perfect, in my opinion, as a horror movie can be. Almost. There is 2 very small drawbacks, and they're both in the same realm. Some of the CGI effects, like when Heather takes the pills to go into Freddy's world so she can save her son, and she falls down into the pit. The CGI that's used when she's falling to make it look like this hellacious realm is a little dated. It looks a little worn out. It isn't so great. My other con is also technically an effect / prop. Is in this Freddy Krueger's glove, I know it was meant to be designed a little differently, and I'm not really sure if it is a glove or if it's the bones of his hands sticking out with blades attached. But I didn't really like the look of the glove. I thought it would have been much scarier, especially with his new design, if they would have stuck to the original glove. That is just my opinion. You know, and those two things are very small, very nitpicky things to talk about. Overall, this movie is great. If I had to give this movie a ranking, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. I love this film so much. I love this entire series. And I only have 2 more videos to get to in this series. Freddy vs. Jason and the remake. And I'm sure you can tell by my tone I'm not too excited about the remake. So, please don't take my tone in this film, though, as a lack of excitement. I absolutely adore this movie. Like I said, I'm trying out this new microphone and I hope it works, because it is getting a little tiring having to project my voice so much at times, and then also having to edit the sound in post-production, because when I turn up my voice, it also turns up everything else. So, anyways, guys, that is it for my A New Nightmare review. Absolutely love this movie. Go out and buy it if you haven't got it yet. There is a great box set on sale right now. You can buy it at Walmart. $20, I believe, for the DVD packages, and $45 or $50 for the Blu-rays. Go out and get this film. I actually have an older DVD set of this, the big box set that has, the picture of Freddy on it. I have that one, so maybe I need to upgrade mine soon so I can get some better special features. Sorry guys, it looks like my light turned itself off. One of my lights turned itself off because it got a little warm. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I am this close to 100 subscribers. I'm right now, I believe, at 97 subscribers. And when I get to 100, I am going to do a special tag video with a contest giveaway. It is going to be a contest. I'm not just going to give out some random stuff to people. And I actually have 2 awesome prizes for that giveaway, which I will reveal in that video. If you want to take part, there will be some conditions. It won't be anything major or hard. And I think you'll really enjoy it. I know I will. And I can't wait to give these prizes away. I want to say thank you to everybody who has supported my channel in any capacity. Even if it's just watching one video. I even want to say thank you to the people, and there haven't been many, but the few people that have cussed me out, called me an asshole, said I was stupid, totally ripped on everything that I am, just because they didn't like my opinions. That's fine too. I'm fine with that. Hell, it makes me feel like a real YouTuber, so thanks a lot, guys. Anyways, this is Bronco Juggalo, signing out. But before I go, I am going to leave you with my favorite line from this film. Pick a pet for the Rugrat, bitch.
From New York to LA, from Chile to Greece, from Uganda to your mouth, we give absolutely no fucks.